Hello, everybody. My name's James. Welcome to another Planet FPL Clash of the Correspondents. I'm delighted to be joined by two of our correspondents who've got big double game weeks coming up. Firstly, let me introduce you to our Leicester City correspondent, Aaron Lagor. How are you, Aaron?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Good to be here.
Pleasure as always. And our Everton correspondent, Sean Norton, is in. How are you, Sean?
I'm better, much better. Thanks, James. Hope you're all right.
Yeah, good. Thank you, mate. I should clarify at this point for everyone, we're pre-recording this on Monday evening, which I think is probably particularly relevant to Aaron and some possible team news that we'll probably get by the time you've heard this in relation to perhaps James Maddison, for example. Also potentially relevant to Richarlison for Sean, but we were just speaking about this off camera, weren't we, Sean? You're not anticipating any suspension here for Richarlison, are you?
No chance. No chance.
Okay, cool, good. Don't worry, we'll come back on to tomorrow. I want to start with Aaron, because you're the home team going into this big fixture on Sunday, although it's not a big fixture for you, though, is it, Aaron?
Well, not in comparison to the one we've got coming up. Yeah.
No. Talk to me about Thursday. How important is this? Because it's interesting. The actual day that we're recording is the 6-year anniversary since the title was confirmed for you. It's been all over my timeline today. Great. Like, I don't need to see that Eden Hazard goal again in my life. But you've had the title 6 years ago. You obviously had the FA Cup win. It's only, 12 months ago, isn't it now? Yep. How important is this going into Thursday night against Roma? Does it feel big? Or is it's a luxury to be in here and this is where the focus is at the moment? Or is it a really big deal?
It feels quite big, actually. And I guess it's weird how things have played out through this season, because if you'd have said that we'd have been in the semi-final of this competition, new competition that, is sort of had its critics and things like that, and whether it should be even a thing. But yeah, it does. It does feel quite a big deal for us. It's our first European semi-final in whatever context. So yeah, I think it's who it is as well. It'd probably be different if it wasn't, a big side like Roma. So yeah, it does feel a big deal. And obviously if it doesn't go well on Thursday, then the season's kind of over, isn't it? And it kind of peters out to nothing. But never a dull moment with being a Leicester City fan, really.
Do you feel like you've had a big European night? And what I mean by that is I reflect on the Champions League run and I remember the draw you had and being gutted for you. That the draw you got in the group, obviously you comfortably got through, but it wasn't big names. I think Porto was the seeded team you got, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. You beat Seville in the last 16, which was a good night at the King Power. But you haven't had in the years since, or even during that year, the kind of real iconic European night. It doesn't feel to me. I don't know if Leicester fans hold that Sevilla night as particularly close. Does it feel like you can potentially have that this night by winning the Olympic Stadium in Rome?
Yeah, I think so. The Atletico second leg back this season after we'd won the league, when we were in the Champions League, that would have been a different night if they hadn't scored early in that game. And obviously it was very flat after that. So yes, I think that would have been a different night and it could have played out very differently then. But it feels like this is one of the biggest ones we've had, and we may have for a while. So I guess we'll have to take it with both hands.
Yeah, you have to, because you never know if this is going to come again. I mean, unless you win the competition, you're not going to be in Europe next year, are you? So then the fight's on to obviously then get back in Europe from there. The club feels in a more stable place, though, I think, than when we were kind of speaking sort of January, February. We were really beginning to question if the Brendan Rodgers era had kind of run its course. But that's all very quiet now. And I guess it's primarily because of the run in this competition, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely helped. Keeping a bit of consistency, towards the end of the season as well. It just proves that, it looks as if we've almost got everybody back fit, just as we, indeed he's the only one.
Really annoyingly for FPL managers, actually. Yep.
Yeah. With two decent sort of back-to-back home fixtures coming up. But it's with Maddison being injured, it's just something else, isn't it? We've had injuries all season. Just when we get to a point where we think, we've got everybody back, and then another injury. So fingers crossed for him.
What's the word? And again, I must reiterate, we're pre-recording this on Monday. What's the word as you understand? Because he obviously wasn't in the squad at Tottenham.
Yeah, it seems like another niggle from what he's been having, and I think he's been managing this. To be honest with you, I think that's why he's been using him sort of sparingly in the important games. Yeah, I think he's so important to us, isn't he? So they are wrapping him in cotton wool. If there's any kind of niggle or something not quite right, they've got to save him. So this game, like we just spoke about, is so important. So if there was any doubt for Sunday, he would, that's the reason he wasn't in the squad.
Do you expect him to be available in Rome?
From what I'm hearing, he should be ready.
Okay.
But it could be touch and go.
All right, cool. Definitely want to come back onto some of your assets coming into this double. Sean, what a monstrous victory that was for you on Sunday against Chelsea. But you expected it. You were predicting it, weren't you, mate?
I think I'd give up winning another game for the rest of the season. The way we were playing, I couldn't see 3 points coming. It's massive because the results never go in this league the way you're going to predict anyway, do they? I mean, you might get total points right, but they'll probably be in different games than you think. So I had us on about 36, 37 points. So,
and I think if going back sort of 6, 7, 8 games, we'd have said that'll be enough, wouldn't we? It's basically what we were agreeing, saying sort of 35 points, we think, because it was beginning to look like yourselves and Burnley weren't going to get anywhere near a point per game. Yeah. Now we're looking at it going, could it even get up to sort of 39 or 40 because of the form of the clubs down there? I guess it's a little bit dependent on obviously what Leeds do in their final games, because it's certainly a race between the three of you now, with Leeds certainly sucked in. How are you feeling about it now? Because I know you've been of the opinion for months, going back into late last year, that you probably would go. How do you feel now?
Oh, it's just incredibly. I think it's going to be incredibly close, like last day stuff. So, I honestly did think we'd be comfortably relegated. So it's just really, really difficult, nervous times. I mean, I think the schedule's gonna do us in, because we just haven't got the options. Yerry Mina definitely won't play 2-3 games in a week. He can't do it. We haven't got quality backup for him. Same in the fullback positions. Patterson's out the rest of the season. So that means John Joe Kenny will invariably come in at some stage. Godfrey's got injured in a warm-up. Another player, the derby, he got injured in the warm-up. He's out for a couple of weeks. So, I think people are looking at it on paper, and obviously we beat Chelsea, so people got more confidence that we can go away and beat Watford, and maybe get wins against Brentford and Palace. But I just think the schedule's gonna do for us. I really do. I think
is it that bad? Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday. Is it that bad?
I think it is. I think it is for us. For we're relying on the likes of Mina and Delph, and they just can't play 2 games in a short space of time. So, Richarlison's he's full out, isn't he? He's 100%. Calvert-Lewin's had fitness issues. I think it's a real difficult period for us, and I think maybe 2 wins. We can get 2 wins. So I think we're going to be relying on Leeds and Burnley having a slump over the last 4.
So, Aaron, with that in mind, Sunday, that's not a difficult fixture for Everton, is it? What are you going to do? Like, if you lose on Thursday, do you suddenly go full strength in the league? Or if you win, do you think it'll be like second string again? How are you reading this?
It's so difficult to read, isn't it? I think the one thing you could say is if the game goes like deep into extra time and or to penalties, then there's going to be fatigue, isn't there, and stuff. So I think then he changes it up quite a bit. I think if the game, say we win the game comfortably, then I can't see that myself. But if it does, then if we're out of sight and they can bring players off early, then that changes the narrative again. If we get beaten quite heavily, then he might want a reaction. So he might go full strength on Sunday. I mean, he's also got to think about the integrity of the league and things like that. And that all plays into it. So
is that important? I mean, with that said, I mean, you just rested the whole team against Tottenham, basically, when Tottenham are obviously fighting for top 4. So, I mean, there's no kind of, I don't know, West Ham changed a few players against Arsenal as well. There's no integrity in that, is there? You didn't think, no. Tottenham are challenging Arsenal, we've got to play a full strength team. You put yourself in a position where you got to do what's best for you. I don't think Brendan Rodgers can pick his team on Sunday and think, this is going to be a problem for Burnley and Leeds. It's got to do what's best for Leicester, hasn't it?
Yeah, completely. No, I agree with that. I don't think that will really come into his thinking in terms of, I've got to play so and so.
I mean, if you win, he could even let him go out on a piss potentially, couldn't he?
Yeah,
Sean's like, they'll still beat us on the piss.
Yeah. But I think that's it's not the best mentality though, is it? You've not won anything, so I don't think. Yeah, it's. I know what you're saying there, but I think maybe they'll enjoy themselves, but with the eye on the final sort of thing, if we do get there. So it is so difficult to read, and everyone can kind of put in their own 2 pence about how it's going to go, but it's up to Rodgers, isn't it? And I do think that how the game plays out on Thursday might tell us a bit, but it's still going to be a guessing game, isn't it?
Have you, Sean, have you got a preference for that on Thursday night? Does that come into your thinking? Does it go that deep because the pressure's so much that you start thinking, I want Leicester to win so they're still in Europe, and then they probably change the whole team? Do you think like that, or is it just it'll be what it'll be?
No, definitely do. I'm not sure whether it's better for us if they win or they lose. I mean, I like Leicester. I do like Leicester. But I can't help but feel that if it goes to extra time and then they got knocked out on penalties, I think they'd be that deflated and that down, and the sort of feeling that the season's over. I think that might be the best result for us, because if they win and then he rotates the team, anyone he picks, it's going to be busting a gut to say, look, put me in that final team. So,
yeah,
but ultimately, it's we've been that horrendous all season away from home. If we haven't got our mentality right and the players aren't focused, we are capable of losing to anybody away. So I'll definitely be following the game and keeping in touch with it. Extra time would definitely help. But I can't help but feel that if Leicester were to lose, that would probably be the best thing for us.
Why, Sean, do you think the away form has been so bad? And it's been a kind of a running joke about you for a few years, going back to the early seasons of Planet FPL. We used to joke about T-Rex at Goodison and Rex away from home. And then Ancelotti came in and it seemed to flip last year. And we spoke that your club had probably missed home fans as much as any other club. Your home form's not been brilliant this season, admittedly, but obviously your away form's been disastrous to the point that, we even look at like Watford away next week and we think they're now done. There's no guarantee that you go to Watford and win, for example, because the away form is so bad. Why is it though?
It's mentality for me. I think there's the common theme with all these players that we've been signing over the last few years. I just think there's an underlying sort of recurring theme of poor mentality of the players have. And as soon as they get away from Goodison, where at Goodison everything feels nice and comfortable and the fans are behind them, and the minute that's reversed, they just seem to visibly wilt. I mean, they're not the best on the ball anyway, but they literally can't string 2 passes together when they go away, and they make horrendous mistakes. And it's just mentality for me. Not having Mina, I've been going on about it all season, but I think those that did watch us against Chelsea, you can see how much he just makes everybody around him better. He's just, he's talking to people all the time. He's organising all the time. He's in the faces and the ears of the opposition players. There's many players come out and said how horrible he is to play against. And I think not having him, And then obviously the fact that, we've had the two managers that we've had and different philosophies, and it's all just been a perfect storm of what was like you said. You go back many years, and we never do well away from home. Even when Moyes was the manager, we weren't great away from home. We drew a lot of games, and that's what Burnley have done well this season. They've ground out draws in away games, and that's why they've I think they've still only won one fewer game than us, but they've drawn about 4 or 5 more, and I think that's what we need to do. In these games coming up, Leicester and Watford. Don't lose them both, even if we were to draw them both.
Would you take that if I offered that now? 2 points.
I would.
Really?
I would, because I obviously we're talking about the Leicester game and we don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's a massive ask for this for us to win one of them. If you offered me 3 points now in either one, I'd rip your hand off.
I think that's probably part of course of what you can expect, isn't it? I think even a weakened Leicester side on Sunday, and having just watched that weakened Leicester side, it's still decent. Might beat you on Sunday. You've got to be looking at Watford away and thinking of going there and winning, though.
Yeah, but don't forget they beat us 5-2 at home.
Claudio Ranieri was the manager.
They beat it. 5-2, and they've got we're brilliant at helping teams out that have been on horrendous runs, and this was another reason why. Obviously I wanted Burnley to get beat because it's Burnley, but just the fact that Watford have lost something like 11 games straight, and here come Everton. It's just a perfect game for them. It really is. And now the pressure's off, isn't it? Because they're down. There's no chance they're going to stay up, and they might all relax, and it'll help them.
Aaron, if you pick the team against Everton that played Tottenham, do you think you beat them?
I'm not sure. I'd like to think so, but they're going to be well up for it, aren't they?
Yeah. Absolutely. And yours is psychologically, you're not, but a little bit like what Sean said as well. Like if you do make the final, and then these guys come in and they play on Sunday, and they know that if he gets injured, I'm in the team or something like that. Then and it's not like it's not like your first choice 11 is set in stone. I mean, I think for most of us looking to predict the Leicester team at Tottenham would have gone, well, Harvey Barnes is definitely playing, and Harvey Barnes doesn't play. So I mean, there's a perfect point in case, right? Could Barnes, for example, now play Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday all of a sudden? What's going on with him specifically? Do you think?
He's just been badly out of form the last few games, I think. He's just not looked himself. He's had a bit of an up and down season in general, hasn't he? He's clearly a great player in there, but
I like him.
Yeah, it's just not really been working for him. It's just wanting. I mean, when Lookman's ever come in as well, he's always done pretty well and looks like he's really got up to the speed, settled in the system a little bit better. So it probably looks a little bit more dangerous. I just think it's just form. Other than that, I think he's just lacking something at the moment.
If Maddison's available for Thursday night, and we don't know that factually at the time of recording, what do you think the team is in Rome? Because that's going to be the strongest team, isn't it? Unquestionably.
Yeah, what, the whole team or just the front?
Yeah, so I mean, I think most of it we can name in terms of sort of Schmeichel, Fofana, Evans. We've been in agreement with. Yeah. Is it Pereira's got favouritism at right back at the moment?
Castagna left back. Yeah.
Left back. What's the situation with James Justin? He didn't play at Tottenham either.
I think that was down to the fact that I think so Castagna came off in the European match.
He had a head injury, which obviously wasn't concussion.
And obviously he started on Sunday, didn't he? So chances are he'll probably start again, but maybe they just want to protect Justin because they he's obviously very important, and with the troubles that we've had with Pereira over the season, he could break down in training, couldn't he? So I guess they want to keep him fresh. So he's quite important, and he's very versatile as well, isn't he? So
I wonder if it's even a switch to back three. You obviously played that at Tottenham. but it could be a back three switch for the second leg against Roma with maybe Castagna or Justin in a back three, possibly. Might be a different way of looking at it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's obviously can play that. He can play in a back three, can't he? So yeah, that gives him options there. I mean, there's nothing to say that actually he might come in at left back over Castagna because there's not a lot in it between the two.
Yeah, agreed.
I think just Castagna's been a little bit more consistent, and obviously he's not had his injury issues like Justin has. So, yeah, he'll play his part, I think, Justin, on Thursday.
I feel like Castagna was the one, when I saw your team on Sunday, was the biggest surprise. I was surprised to see him in the team, particularly as he'd obviously come off in the game on Thursday as well. I thought, no risk. You've obviously, Mendy's ineligible in Europe. So Dewsbury Hall's been playing a deeper role alongside Tielemans. Could you see Samari perhaps coming in for the European game to firm that up a little bit?
I don't think so. I mean, he's a good player, but he's been injured for a period of time now. So I would be surprised if he went that way. I do think that he'll go with Dewsbury Hall and Tielemans as a two. Although, I mean, Dewsbury Hall's been brilliant, hasn't he? We've spoken about him a lot.
Finally got his rest on Sunday. Finally.
Yeah, I know. He looked exhausted the game previous as well. I think, him and Tielemans have played a lot of games again this season. So that was good. They both needed a rest on Sunday for Thursday. So, and they're very important, aren't they, in that midfield area? So I think he will go with those two again. And, hopefully Bannerson is fit. And then it's just a case of whether he goes Barnes or he goes Lookman, really.
Or obviously both if it's still back four. He's used Albrighton a bit in the European games, hasn't he? I think to give a little bit more defensive because he's playing Dewsbury Hall in a deeper role. And I presume Vardy will start in Rome, won't he? I guess.
Yeah, and I think, Albrighton's a good honest pro, isn't he? He does a lot for the team that you don't see. He does a lot of the dirty work and maybe gives Pereira that kind of license to go forward on the right as well. So, and he can also, I think they used him against Roma because of, the fact that we've not got Ndidi in there. He can drop in and cover a little bit in that centre midfield area. He has got more of a defensive head on him more so than like Lookman has. So I'll be surprised if he doesn't start as well. So,
but none of this information is helpful for the listening FPL manager, is it at all?
No.
Who have you got Leicester City assets at the moment, Aaron?
I haven't got any.
Sean, you got any?
No.
It's just the headache of who's going to start each
That's
week.
why I've just wildcarded in the goalkeeper, Aaron, because it feels like it's the only one.
And we're not even keeping clean sheets.
Well, no, there is that as well. Although there's always a save tier in him. So if it does land, and I think, look, over the course of the double-double that you have, you've got Norwich and Watford fixtures in there as well. So it's still a sensible call. Like, to be honest, I nearly went with Pickford on wildcard because I keep looking at Everton's doubling 37, thinking that's best, but I'm not sure I need to overlook the fact that you're playing Watford in 37, potentially with 4-day gaps of that fixture in between Norwich and Chelsea. That's one that should look strong. And the other problem, of course, for people who say want to buy Leicester assets, and this is why you should definitely wait till at least after Thursday's result. If you do go through on Thursday, none of them are playing in 38, are they? Against Southampton. It'd be 3 days before the final.
Yeah, exactly. Completely.
So and this is what I've been feeling, even Kasper Schmeichel maybe doesn't play game week 38. Surely you rest literally the whole team for that if you make the final.
You have to, don't you? Yeah, you have to.
So those who are going with Leicester assets now, if you win and make the final, because there'll be people carrying Everton assets, maybe don't want to look at it away to Arsenal. Villa assets, got good fixtures, away to Man City. We've got Foster possibly as the backup for Schmeichel is kind of a lot of the wildcard combinations. They're away to Chelsea. So anything you buy Leicester as well looks even more dangerous, I think, if you win on Thursday, because there's no guarantee they're going to play 38, never mind twice in a double.
No. It's really tricky. It's one of the reasons why I've avoided them because of the, and it's like in FPL, it's so difficult it's such a guessing game, isn't it? You don't want a guessing game. You want people you know are going to start because that's half the battle in this game, isn't it? If you know they're on the pitch, then they've got a chance of getting points. But
there's a number of people who are going to have a Martu sitting about as a budget option in their team. I guess, should you win on Thursday, maybe there's a small chance he might play twice. I guess he definitely plays once from there, wouldn't he? I would think.
Yeah, probably. But do you really want that?
Well, the thing is, and this is worth remembering, at the end of the day, your two home, in terms of a double game week, it couldn't actually look any better than what you had. If it was one of the top teams, we'd definitely be looking at this right now and going, this is a triple captaincy week. Because with respect to Sean's team, as he said himself, all 4 away from home, and then Norwich at home as well. I mean, in terms of 2 home fixtures, if you said, give me 2 home fixtures in the double game week this season, that would probably be the 2. Watford's away form's been better than Everton's this season. So, I mean, I think a few, even going back a few weeks, we're thinking, boy, if Leicester are out, maybe I can, even if Vardy's back available, or if he's not available, an Iheanacho or a Maddison or something. I mean, certainly captaincy, you couldn't go near this week, could you? I mean, it was so rogue, even with them fixtures. Have you got any faith, Aaron, that any player other than the goalkeeper could play twice? And we know that some will, but in terms of your confidence in it.
I mean, they may play twice, but they may not start twice. I think that's ultimately the thing, isn't it? It's very difficult to say. I think that there's a chance that someone may start one game, but maybe only get 20 minutes on the end of the game. Now, that might be enough. So maybe you just pick the one that you fancy. You know, say Maddison is fit. Still has been looking pretty sharp, even though he's had this little niggly injury.
Yeah, but you'd think with him, if he is getting wrist Thursday, and apparently it's the complaint of an old problem, isn't it?
Hip issue, yeah.
He's not playing Everton and Norwich, is he? I don't think.
No, and he's probably the one you want, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, I think, yeah.
But if Barnes doesn't start the European game, then he might be good for... He's probably the one that might get the most minutes, that could be the most dangerous.
Well, look, I was going to say, with Barnes, ironically, form been bad, but if he's not in the team again Thursday night, would you, for example, perhaps if you were free hitting, would you maybe consider him?
Yeah, I think I would, yeah. Yeah.
Sure, and you got any plans to look at Leicester players?
I've pretty much give up on my fancy football, to be honest.
I thought you'd just given up on football full stop, mate. But
I have, yeah, that's been getting to that stage. But I've just, while you were talking then, I was just having a look at my team. Because I didn't quite realise I've actually
how bad my rank was.
Got 3 Leicester players.
He's got 4.
I've got 3 Aston Villa players for some reason. What's that about?
Easy, Sean. I've just wildcarded into that myself. But go on, carry on.
Oh, have you? Yeah. Okay. No, but I've got my whole team. I've all got doubles, so I'll probably I don't know. Maddison. I like Maddison, so he'd be the one I'd go for. On the premise that he'd probably at least play one and he could haul. But
yeah,
you know, but I think that's about it. But then I do like Iheanacho as well. I've got Watkins and Kane up front. So,
but in the case of Iheanacho, the forwards conceivably, because I'd love to take like an Iheanacho punt as well. Conceivably, he doesn't start at all, right? There's nothing to say that Vardy won't start Thursday, Daka starts Sunday, and Vardy starts again next Wednesday, and Iheanacho doesn't even start at all. I mean, that's possible, isn't it, Aaron?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
at least with the others like Maddison's, if he's fit, Dewsbury Hall and stuff, your Fofanas, Pereira, whatever, you're getting at least one out of them, probably, aren't you?
I mean, the only other thing is obviously the game yesterday. He played the 2, didn't he, up top? Yep. So if he changes that again and he goes 2 up top, then he will start. If he doesn't start on Thursday, there's a quite high chance that he'll start the weekend.
I'd love to see you do that in Rome, by the way. Play Vardy and Iheanacho up front together, and play a back 3 as you did at Tottenham. I'd love to see you do that.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think that would get the best out of Iheanacho, because
he needs a partner. We've spoken about this before.
He's not the same. He's not the same up there on his own, and he works hard and stuff. But he does need a partner. He can get so much more out of him, and that's why we did so well back in the last season, wasn't it? You know, and he was like the main man, wasn't he? I can't see.
We've spoken about it with him already this season a few times. Like, what's he kind of got to do? Because his goals numbers per minute is good. At the end of last season, it was extraordinary. I think everybody was expecting him to kick on this season, and he's had no more of a look-in. No more of a look-in. And I think he must be thinking, am I ever going to be the main guy here, basically?
And it's even Vardy's been out for long periods of this season as well.
And it still wasn't clear.
No.
I think if I was to, I think because of this re-emergence of this problem for Maddison, that I can't see where he would start both and be risking both, especially if you win, Aaron. So it'd have to be a no. I think if I was going in new, I think Dewsbury Hall's the one that would tempt me, having now got that break and the reliability that Rodgers has on him. He's low risk at his value, and he'll play higher up in the league than he does in Europe as well, won't he?
Because of Mendy being there, yeah.
I think that's a low risk if people want to go that way. But then you've got someone at the same value who I chose to go with on wildcard rather than Dewsbury Hall in Anthony Gordon. What would you say to people who are looking at investing in him this week?
I think the thing with Anthony Gordon is his price is probably the thing that makes him so attractive, because he's almost guaranteed to start now, and he's a snip at that price. But we're not scoring goals, are we? And he's been he's very wasteful, considering he's on a lot of set pieces, and his quality's not been there lately. I think if I haven't got any Everton players, and if it was, I think I'd go with Richarlison, and that'd be it. That'd be the one I'd take a punt on, just for the fact that if we're gonna score some goals and get a win, then it's surely gonna come in one of these 2 away games. We're not going to get a better opportunity. I think Leicester will be weakened to some extent, and then Watford, obviously a Watford. So I think Richie'd be the one I'd just take a punt on.
The thing is, of course, for both of you, which is why I both wanted you on so much this week, is not only you obviously playing each other and with attractive doubles, but it's double for both of you. And there are good fixtures for both of you in each week. Yourself, Sean, with those 2 crucial home games with Brentford and Palace in 37. You've got Watford this week. Aaron's got Watford next week. He's got Norwich this week. There's something good in both of those double game weeks for both of you. I think, Aaron, Sean's right to say Richarlison over the Leicester forwards, isn't he?
Oh, that
if you were making that choice.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What would be your take on Dewsbury Hall versus Gordon, Aaron?
Gordon, because I think I know he'll start both games. Purely on that, really.
Do you expect him to keep this place, Sean, or is there any doubts on that if Calvert-Lewin's available?
No, I don't. There's something not quite right with Dom. Whether it's fitness or whether it's just the fact that he's off at the end of the season. I think he will be, whatever happens. I think it was telling the fact that Rondon come on against Chelsea and not Dom. Dom was on the bench. I sort of took it for granted that Dom had come on, and it was my lad that said to me, "No, it's Rondon." I was like, "What? You're having a laugh? Why?" I couldn't believe it.
But, those who've never listened before, Sean is not Solomon Rondon's biggest fan.
No, he's utterly horrific. He actually done all right, to be fair, against Chelsea. He did. I reluctantly have to sort of admit that he half looked like a footballer.
Only half, though, yeah?
Yeah. He never fails to embarrass himself. I've never known a footballer to just like collapse.
Sean, do you want me to tell you the tale of Fernando Llorente, the man I used to call Toilet, who helped my team win a Champions League quarter-final and a Champions League semi-final? You know, it's written in the stars that Solomon Rondon's banging a hat-trick in Gameweek 37 to keep you up, right?
He couldn't score a hat-trick all season. He wouldn't total 3 goals. He's dreadful. Oh, wasn't Llorente about 7 foot tall?
Yeah, he didn't act like it very often, mate. Anyway, let's not get into Tottenham. Damari Gray, Sean, has he had a dip the last few months?
Yeah.
Or is it just that he really exceeded expectations in the first part of the season?
No, he has. Yeah. can't say I've seen enough of him before we signed him to say whether he was sort of overperforming. But I think Benitez had a very specific role for him, and that role's changed now under Lampard, and I think that's why he's suffering a bit. But
yeah, fair comment.
He should have scored against Chelsea. He had a great chance. I was gobsmacked. I was just waiting for the net to ripple. I thought he was definitely going to score. And he's had a few of them. He's had a few of them recently where he's had good chances, and early in the season they were hitting the net, and now they're not. I'd like to think he's due. Him and Gordon, to me, I think they're due. So I'm hoping that the next couple of games, then that's where they find the back of the net. But those second two games of the double, I think are a lot harder. I mean, yes, they're at Goodison, but I think it'll all come down to how much motivation Brentford and Palace have got at that stage of the season. Because at the minute, Brentford are doing really well. I know Palace have took a bit of a dip, but I don't necessarily see, 2 wins there. Like a lot of our fans are looking at and thinking. I think they're going to be 2 really, really difficult games.
The thing is, reality is in our league now, there aren't many games that are straightforward, especially obviously for a club like yourselves who's been struggling this season to look at any fixture and have complete confidence of take it for granted. Oh, Everton will definitely get 6 points in the last 2 home games. Like I suspect you probably won't. Yeah. But I suspect you definitely won't get 0 out of that week either. Like there'll be something for you. I would be surprised if you need points in that week and you get beat by Brentford and Palace. Mate. I mean, if that happens, then you know what the fate will be, obviously, right? And I think those games will be pivotal. But yeah, no, listen, any team, we've seen it a lot recently where, and I know there's a lot made of obviously your victory against Chelsea and the fact that you had something to play for and they didn't. But then some of these, let's say, smaller clubs in comparison to, say, Chelsea, come without the same pressure of having to win and things like that. Then the pressure's on you, right? There's no pressure on Sunday. There's no expectation on Everton. So you could come, right? You could sit in and do some of the things like you, to be honest, the first hour at Anfield, right? You didn't give them a lot. And actually the goal came at a period where it looked like you had them rattled a little bit on the counter-attack, not to the point where I thought, oh, you're going to go and beat them. But you defended well enough. It was the same on Sunday. There's different pressure with some of these easier fixtures to come, right? Yeah,
absolutely. Because that's it. It's expected. It's an expected win, isn't it? And like you say, in this league, quite regularly they don't come off, especially when you are down the bottom. But I don't know. I think Burnley. Burnley have probably killed us with this Man City-like form that they found. It's just, as soon as Twitter all decided sacking Sean Dyche was the worst thing that they could do, I knew they were going to do dead well. I thought, it's just the way football works.
Stop chatting bullshit. I know when that happened, you thought, that's good.
I never.
No, you must have, mate. You must have. We all did.
I didn't because you lot on Twitter were like, no, shut up. I'd rather everybody said that it was a bad move.
Can I be honest with you? When Sean Dyche got sacked, I thought that was Everton's best result of the season, mate.
How mad's that it turns out that Sean Dyche was the problem?
Well, we don't listen. They're not safe yet. We don't know that factually. Who knows? They could have got these results with him. But yes, as it looks right now, it looks like getting rid of him and moving him on was the best thing in the immediate for Burnley. Yeah, incredible. But then look, suddenly, if they don't beat Villa at the weekend, mate, then you've got opportunities to get back ahead of them. And they've still got to go to Tottenham, Villa Park and play an informed Newcastle final day, right? And then the pressure's suddenly, even though they've had them results, it's like even going into Leeds on Saturday when they played City. They had 11 points in the last 5. And it's like, how? Did they? Yeah. Doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
And that's admittedly because they'd had their fixtures spread over a longer period, whereas you guys have been playing catch up with fixtures. But yeah, it needs you now to go and win get 4 points next week or something. Then you're the team in form and they're looking over their shoulders again. Yeah, there'll still be twists around there. How's Alex Iwobi playing, Sean? He's been a figure of fun for us on the podcast for the majority of the last few years, but he's doing a really good job for the team, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's decided to start running, so everybody's like really, really made up.
Isn't it more a case that he always was full of running? The problem was the expectation when he got to the penalty area, and there's less pressure on it in the position that he's playing for you at the moment.
I don't know. You see, because my every time I've watched him, he just didn't seem interested. It was like he was playing a friendly, and I mean, a lot of his Everton career he's been stuck out wide. And some of the people that I sort of follow on Twitter were telling me, the number 10 was his best position, and he wasn't really getting any opportunities to play there because of other options that we had. But now he's playing as sort of the forward, the most attacking midfielder of a central three. He has looked better. He's helping the team because of his pressing, and he does have that ability to find a pass. But I mean, I think it's just a sign of how bad we are. That he really is getting raved about by Evertonians, and I just see a lot of effort and a lot of running, and not much else.
Aaron, have you got any Everton assets at the moment?
No, I haven't at the moment, but I am free hitting in 37, so there might be one in there.
Okay.
There might be two.
Are you planning to invest in on this week?
Not this week, no.
No. So just out of interest, 37, I think you're going free?
I'm going with Richarlison.
Yep.
Probably Gordon.
Yep.
I think that'll be it. I don't think I'll go three.
Sean, double game weeks are littered with unexpected centre-backs who suddenly perform miracles with 18, 19 pointers. This is absolutely going to be Mason Holgate, isn't it?
Don't be silly.
Wow. Do you know what? When he scores at the weekend and ends game week 36 or 37 as FPL's king of the game week, someone's going to crop this. On the serious note, 4.2, he's locked at the moment, isn't he?
He does seem. Well, he seems to be. Yeah. He seems to be ahead of Keane, and then I did say that Yerry Mina won't be able to play against Leicester and then against Watford. So, I mean, if you were stupid enough to want an Everton defender, then Holgate would probably be the shout.
What's the status on Godfrey's injury?
I haven't heard anything the last few days. But it was a couple of weeks that I saw not long after the derby. So I've not seen anything to suggest he's going to be fit for the weekend. So would you see him and Mina as first choice? Yeah,
definitely. So Holgate would only be of interest if Godfrey's obviously out, I guess, for the remainder of the season, or at least till the final game against Arsenal, perhaps. But he's 4.2, Sean. If he's going to play for you with his double-double, I don't see why people, if it's the transfer that facilitates getting in a premium or something, I don't know why you wouldn't consider it if Godfrey's out. Why not?
Well, yeah, because we're crap away. And he's no goal threat, really. I mean, I know he did score against West Ham, but I don't know. I just think there's got to be better options somewhere else.
So if you were saying to Aaron, so Aaron's free hitting in 37, and I think that yours, Sean, is the best double in 37, as far as I'm concerned. Well, you and Villa, I think there's every chance Aaron might be looking at free Villa for that week as well. But if Aaron wants to go over defensive Everton, and I think free hitters should really consider that in 37, and a lot will free hit in 37. Which one, because money probably won't be a problem, which one would you advise? Let's say everyone's already going Kasper Schmeichel, so it has to be a defensive player.
37 for Brentford and Palace.
Money, no object. Which one? Coleman, Mikalenko?
No, I'd probably go Coleman.
Okay. Because?
Well, there's a chance you'll get. There's more of a chance you'll get an attack and return. I mean, I'd say Yerry Mina, but I just, like I say, with the schedule, I just can't see him playing both games. So there's more chance Coleman would, but because it's double-double, like I said earlier, at some point he's got to not play Coleman because he can't. Shame he can't play 4 games in 2 weeks.
But he has kept picking him, hasn't he, Sean? He missed the Burnley game, and there was another game he missed because of injury. Other than that, he's been playing 90 minutes every game, hasn't he?
Yeah, but the schedule hasn't been as as heavy as it's going to be, has it? So I think out those 4, I think he'll definitely miss one. He'll have to. He'd just be knackered. I mean, he looked destroyed coming off the pitch on Saturday. So, it's really difficult with our defence because we haven't got the go-to was Lucas Dean, wasn't it? He'd have been the nailed on option. You know,
that would have trolled everyone.
Wasn't
he meant to be out for the season and come back? Got 2 bonus points on Saturday.
He played, didn't
Brilliant.
he? Oh, good old Lucas Dean. I mean, Mykolenko looks. He's a bit of a tank, Mykolenko. So he's probably the one that will play all 4. But I mean, as anyone who saw him against Chelsea would say, he doesn't offer any threat offensively. I mean, he had a great opportunity. He should have scored. He really should have. And it was horrific. I don't know how you can be there.
The problem is, unquestionably, the best defensive Everton asset, if you want to go and have one, is Pickford. It's unquestionable because the potential for save points, go and hit the bonus like at the weekend. I mean, what a save that was at the weekend, by the way. But the problem is, and this might not be quite such a problem for 3 hits, but if you're looking to build your team, everyone's got Aaron's goalkeeper. So you don't need Pickford. I've already got Schmeichel sitting there with double, so you don't feel like you want to go and invest the money there. And I think that will lead a few people to look at Everton defensive. Do you want me to tell you something really funny, Sean? Which you probably know this, but I'm going to remind you. Do you remember what happened last time we played at King Power?
Yeah. When we won. You
did, yeah. You did. You won 2-0. Do you remember who scored?
Oh God, I am not like Marvo the memory man.
No,
like
that's okay. I am, but not for this. I wasn't. But I had something in my head that said to me, Mason Holgate scored that day, and yes, he did. Richarlison got the other. And do you know who the other team was that he scored against in the season before? It was Watford in the cup, who happens to be the other game in your double. And I know you're thinking but James, he's only scored 2 goals this season, and one of them was against West Ham. You're absolutely correct. You are. You know what the other one was against? It was against Brentford in the cup. He's got them in game week 37. I tell you, mate, Mason Holgate is going to be the hero, mate.
No, he's had his fill. It's done.
I genuinely think that if Ben Godfrey is ruled out for a sustained period, I think when those 3 hit, or if people are looking for the enabler for another transfer, don't rule it out. Look, you're getting 4.2 defender for back-to-back doubles, mate, with some shite fixtures in there. And I know you've been shite a lot as well, Sean, but do you know what you're doing with chips, Sean?
I've got rid of mine.
Yeah,
mine
gone, right?
A long time
so
ago.
what Evertonians you got? I know you think Richarlison's the standout. I've got as well. Aaron's saying he'll definitely have him 3 hit 37. He's going to be really, really popular this week as long as he escapes this potential suspension, which we don't think is going to happen. What have you got and what's your plans?
I'm swerving all of them because I don't want to jinx. I don't want to jinx.
I knew you were going to say
anything.
That.
I can't jinx anything. So I'd rather keep Ollie Watkins and he does nothing, and Richarlison goes double-digit crazy. I'd be made up.
Yeah, that was some of my theory of going without Heung-min Son at the weekend. That went well, didn't it?
Yeah, damn him.
Love Sonny boy.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I think in conclusion, Aaron, this is particularly difficult for you if people are looking for FPL information, because we can only repeat what we've said is like, if you can't, there's no one to expect by the goalkeeper, is there? In summary.
Not really. I think.
Have you got any doubt on him, by the way?
No, I think
that would be shocking, wouldn't it?
Well, I even think our backup keepers got an injury.
Jakupovic has had an injury, and Danny Ward's got an injury as well, isn't he? So yeah.
And if he gets injured, then we're really screwed, aren't we?
Yeah, I think that particularly if you beat Roma because of the 38 problem, I think most people should go without. Because I really think if you go through Thursday night, no one's playing against Southampton in 38, and it's just another headache people don't need. Final day, I don't think. I think in summary for yours, Sean, I think Richarlison is an absolutely brilliant option. I feel like in your biggest moments, he steps up and scores key goals, which he's done again at the weekend. He'd done it late in the reverse fixture against Leicester. just only a few weeks ago as well. So I think Richarlison very popular. I've got Gordon as well. That's probably going to be it for me. But do you know what, Sean? If Godfrey's out, I might look at Mason Holgate in 37, mate.
Okay, well,
I won't. To be honest, I'll buy Seamus Coleman because I don't need to save the money if that's the way it's going. But I mean, it would be my sod's luck, wouldn't it? I go and buy Coleman and Holgate goes off. Yeah, Right. Before we let you go, let's do predictions, which is a bit wild, but we'll have a go. Aaron, I'm going to ask you: do you think you'll go through Thursday first?
Yeah.
Good luck, mate.
Just
correct score prediction for the Everton fixture on Sunday.
Gosh, 1-1.
First choice team or second choice team?
Second choice team.
Yeah, I think you might be right, actually, mate. And the Norwich fixture, does that mean Norwich get the first choice team? They're lucky bastards, aren't they?
Yeah. 3-1.
3-1. So no clean sheet.
No, we don't keep clean sheets, do we?
Do you know what? This is so true. We all bought Schmeichel. We've all bought Schmeichel because we can't buy any other Leicester players and they don't keep clean sheets anyway.
He can save a pen. Yeah.
Well, yes, there is that as well. He's one of the best in the business at that. Sean, prediction for Sunday?
Yeah, I was thinking 1-1 as well.
Okay.
1-1.
And the Watford game?
Oh, God. 2-2.
I don't think you mean that. I think you just said earlier that you'd take 2 points, but you didn't want to then contradict yourself and predict a victory.
Yeah.
I've got you clocked there, haven't I? I think you think you'll go to Watford and win, mate. Aaron, I think you might be in for penalties Thursday night, by the way. I'm going to go 2-1 Leicester on Sunday. I do think even their second string might be enough. And I also think if the result does go your way Thursday night, the positivity around the place might be quite nice, even for those second string that do. But I do think it will be a weakened team, particularly on Sunday. I think most of the first choice will play against Norwich, Aaron, so I'll go probably 3-0 for that, actually, for the Norwich game. Sean, for your game at Watford, I'm going to back you to go there and win, mate. I'm going to go 2-1 for you to win at Watford. And my prediction of 3 points for you over the next week is better than your lying prediction of 2, because we know actually secretly you meant 4 points there. We know that. Cool. Brilliant. Before we let you go, Aaron, where can everyone follow you on the Bird app, mate?
Just at Aaron Lagor.
Fantastic. And Sean, where can everyone follow you?
At Spirit_Blues.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, guys. Best of luck for the rest of the season. Next week's Clash of the Correspondents will be 2 other teams with big doubles in 37. It will be Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace with Lee Jackson and Migtavius. The day might change. It's still scheduled for next Thursday, but we might end up releasing that earlier in the week. We will communicate that for you on social media. Other than that, just leaves me to say thanks again to Aaron and to Sean. Cue music, please, man child.